Welcome to Threat Intel Weekly. My name is Josh. This is being presented by Volta. With me is Tracy Whitlock,
Hello.
Michael Gay,
Good day.
and Andrew Harrington.
Good morning.
We're security engineers here at Volta, and we're here to walk you through the biggest stories in security this week. So first on our list, you may have seen that 35,000 GitHub repos were hacked this week. That is not true. So we had an incident where a security researcher, I'm going to put that in quotations because I'm a security researcher and I never would have done this, cloned about 35,000 repos and added a malicious URL into them, including in some of them a one-liner to just add straight up backdoors into your environment that we could see right here. If you're a security researcher, don't do this. I don't know what you're trying to prove by doing this. These have all already been taken offline by GitHub, and it seemed that a lot of really, really big packages like Bash, Python, and crypto were unaffected. But definitely know what you're cloning. Don't clone a random fork just because you think it might have a little bit more usability than your version. Definitely be auditing the code that you're bringing into your environment. Michael, have you seen something like this happen before?
Thankfully not personally.
That's probably for the best. Yeah, no, there is the other problem of, if you are committing a lot of things to your GitHub project that has environmental variables, like API keys, that kind of thing. Even if you go into the future and uncommit these things, the Git history, Git history remains. Anyone who's ever done a capture the flag, that's one of the very first projects you'll do, is getting an API key from Git history. This is the URL that the guy added in. It's an HXXP. I think that's just to blur the actual URL so that no one accidentally goes to it. But all right, next up, huge flaw in the US emergency alert system. So I don't know if anyone's actually dealt with the emergency alert system. This is, I looked into what technology is actually powering this, and it is floppy disks. I found a couple units meant for emergency alert systems for, like municipalities and such. They have not been updated since 2010. Just like even great, wonderful. Even manual and the documentation I could find on it. So we have even a note here that says that this is multiple vulnerabilities and issues that haven't been patched for several years that snowballed into a huge flaw. We don't exactly know the extent of it yet. What we know is that this flaw, according to the researcher who came up with it, can allow you to do things like easily obtain credentials, certs, devices, exploit the web server, and finally send fake alerts via craft message. So if you're in Hawaii, you probably know how terrifying it can be to get a fake emergency alert system notification. Definitely, like foreign actors, ATPs, these are one of the resources they would be targeting. The more panicked a society is, the easier they are to take advantage of that sort of thing. If you are someone with one of these emergency alert systems in your environment, I don't even know what I can recommend to you right now because we don't know the scope of the vulnerability. I maybe air gap it and then hope that there's no nuclear strike within the next few days or so until a fix comes out. Yeah, so not much to do about that one. Definitely keep your eye on DEF CON next week. Has anyone here actually been to DEF CON?
We did not have.
I have not.
Good fortune, no.
Oh yeah, see, if you go, my only recommendation to you is just bring no technology. Just go in there with
Absolutely.
go in there with 2 paper cups attached by a string if you need to communicate with anybody, because that might be the only thing they can't get their hands on.
If even the digital ID badges they give you just end up getting hacked and used for other things.
Exactly, they would find an exploit. This one comes to us straight from a customer. This is a customer recommendation for a story. Thank you to Justin. What we're seeing here is pretty typical of consumer grade routers, where a vulnerability like this will probably exist to knowledge for years and go unpatched because there's not that much of an incentive to. These are Arris routers that sit mostly in homes. I mean, this is something that you connect your switch to, not a commercial grade switch, a Nintendo Switch. That was good. What we're seeing is pretty typical // path traversal. So you can look at things like password files pretty easily, which while salted and hashed, we know that that's bad enough already. The more I looked into this, I'm not sure if this is Arris are used commercially or if there's a chance that any of our customers would even use something like this. Yeah, the recommendation I will have for you is that your patch management should definitely include your routers. It should definitely include your low level networking equipment, because they are just as susceptible to these vulnerabilities as something like a web application.
I know of a couple of branch offices that are connected by cable modems.
That's our secret though. That secret will live and die with us. But yeah, it's networking technology is always going to be about, like, on average, what would you say, Andrew, like 10 years behind for any environment you'd go into?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like 10 years behind. So, I mean, if you can't keep the actual hardware updated, at least do yourself the favor of keeping the software updated. So that's all I have for you all this week. Does anyone have any extra stories or anything you wanted to cover? I expected as much. Keep your eyes open. Keep looking out for vulnerabilities. Make sure you have a patch management. If anything you saw today scares you, please contact us at Volta and we'll be happy to consult for you. Have a great week and stay safe.